Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, the best way to do a video like this is to give you the timeline on how I came up with the idea to do this video. Yesterday on Facebook, I came across a post about, it's a news item, about an arrest of a pastor, a Methodist church pastor in Woodbury, Connecticut. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to talk about the main reason for the purpose. Let me see how, okay, I've just crossed 30 seconds. I can talk about this now. The main purpose of this video is to emphasize that recovery is possible. I have been clean and sober from, I was a full-blown crackhead, heroin addict for over 20 years of my life, and I've been completely clean and sober for over 17 years. Since October 23rd of 2006, I have been completely clean and sober with the help of a methadone medically assisted treatment program. Initially, when I first got clean and sober, I had been in and out of over 13 detoxes and rehabs before it finally took, and it is possible. Okay, the timeline of this video, how I came up with this idea. Like I said, I came across a news story yesterday, and I couldn't believe this. For some reason, here in Connecticut, I don't know why this is, but just until I saw this article, and I confirmed it this morning, there had not been, for some reason, crystal meth has been a plague across this entire country. In places, out west, in the Central America, especially out west, it's been a plague. But for some bizarre reason, I guess I want to say thank God, but in a case like this, people just use other drugs. I was a crack cocaine addict. I sought out crystal meth. I wanted to, back when I was using, I wanted to try it because it was so close. It's a very similar stimulant to what I was using, and it's stronger and it lasts longer. And it was a new exotic drug that was similar to my drug of choice. So I sought it out, and I could not find it. It just has not been in this area. Now that I'm clean and sober, I am thankful for that. When I went out to California to visit 2 or 3 times, and I sought it out and used it as soon as I landed in California, in San Jose, in Los Angeles, San Diego. But here in Connecticut, this is the first time, 2024, that I've ever seen an arrest. And when I was in rehab back 17 years ago, there was no crystal meth in this area whatsoever. And it kind of spooks me, because there's got to be some bigger reason for this. Because if it was up to dealers and addicts, this drug would be here. Like I said, now that I'm clean and sober, I'm thankful for this. And now that it is here in Connecticut, I'm glad that I am securely, so I have over 17 years under my belt. So I'm thankful that it's not an option. It's not I'm not tempted to use it. For some reason, it just never was in this area. Okay, this is a weird thing. This is a pastor. Pastor was dealing. I didn't think this story was real. I honestly didn't, because like I said, there hasn't been crystal meth in this area since this whole plague covered this country of crystal meth, and it's just been people using crack in this area. I don't know if it's something to do with a bigger thing with dealers, slicing up parts of the country to sell, like one area is just for crack cocaine. I don't know, but I knew sooner or later that drug would make its way here, and it has. So this guy, this pastor, was dealing out of a Methodist church, and this is a small, wealthy farm community. It's literally right next door to where I lived, my hometown, where I went to high school. He was dealing out of, I'll put the links down below so you can read it. His name is Herbert Miller. He's 63-year-old Methodist church pastor, arrested for dealing crystal meth out of the church. Like I said, and this little community, I'd say, I don't know off the top of my head, I'd say Woodbury is about, maybe 2,000 people population. It's a rough guess. It's a very small, it's a wealthy, upper middle class community. It's a farming community. It's like old time farming. People have owned this land for centuries. And it's the last place you would think that crystal meth would pop up in Connecticut, and the last out of a church. In the article down below, it says that they were tipped off. The police pulled over a suspect, and he gave them some information. Also, they found a crystal meth pipe. Crystal meth pipes are identifiable. They're because they have a bulb at the end. It's a pipe, a glass pipe with a bulb at the end. If it's just a straight glass pipe, and then usually that's a crack pipe. Usually it'll have what they call chore boy, like copper wire for cleaning. They have stuffed in the end. That's a crack pipe. But a crystal meth pipe has a bulb at the end where they put the drugs in, and they constantly heat it. It's a sordid story. Apparently, they found the actual salt, the crystal meth powder on him, a hypodermic needle loaded with liquefied crystal meth. Apparently, sometime he was trading this crystal meth for the opportunity to watch gay sex couples. Now, this is the thing. Now, it's not exclusive to gay couples, but I've talked about this. For some reason, stimulants affect the sex drive. It just, when I used to smoke crack, I'll give you guys the link to one of the videos I did. This video's got like 40,000 views. It's on my other channel, Staying Clean. And I talk specifically about how crystal meth, crack cocaine, and sex and porn, and how it affects sex drive. And apparently he traded, this is a pastor now. He just became pastor of this church in July. And I'm guessing he came from another part of the country because, like I said, for some bizarre reason, crystal meth was just not in this area of the country. And I'm thinking that this is the backstory. This is what I assume is happening here. He probably came from another area of the country. He already had a crystal meth. He was probably already using. He probably already had sources outside the state. And when he moved here, he brought in the drugs, and he had a connection outside the state. Because, like I said, if you check, I know there's going to be people that don't believe this. If you check, if you Google this, Google arrests for crystal meth in Connecticut for the last 20 years, 30 years, and you won't find anything. This is the first arrest. So now it's made its way into Connecticut. Like I said, I am thankful because I know the location of this is right next door to my hometown. And everything, I know I would have been involved in there, but for the grace of God go I probably would have been one of the people. He was actually dealing out of the church. And they said there was traffic going in and out of the church day and night. So the neighbors knew something was amiss. The thing that I don't understand is the bond for this guy is only set at $10,000. Now, he's a pastor that was dealing out of a Methodist church in a small upper middle class Connecticut community. Honestly, I was expecting the bond to be over $100,000. Why it's only $10,000? This guy needs help, obviously. A lot of times when people become addicted to drugs, it's something I did. You start dealing to pay for your drugs. People used to ask me for drugs. And I would take I would assume the danger in going to these parts of the city to buy the drugs, and I'd take my cut, and then I would give it to them. This is something pretty much a lot of drug addicts do. And I'm thinking that's probably why his bond was so low, that he wasn't he was a user / dealer, dealing just, probably for his own cut, for his own use. Like I said, this is kind of a spontaneous video. I'll talk more about it in the future. The links will be down below. I'll definitely have more thoughts on this. You guys, I'll be back later with another video. You guys have a good Wednesday.